Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's Cabin. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But let's go ahead and get right into today's episode. We are going to get into the Monday Night Football review, as well as the Thursday Night Football divisional matchup we have. Get into some around the sports world news, and then I got the Monday Night Raw review for my wrestling fans and the SmackDown preview. And we are also going to preview Crown Jewel as well. That matchup, that pay-per-view is set to kick off Saturday, 8 a.m. So obviously the next episode will not be out before then. So if anything does get added from SmackDown, unfortunately, it will be missed. But we will go ahead and get right into it at the top of the broadcast right now with the Monday Night Football review. We had the Chiefs at the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, with 23 ticks left, ran that ball right in for that touchdown to get his second rushing touchdown of the night and to secure that victory over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, 31 to 28. It was a great 26th birthday present for him, advancing the Jaguars to 4-1. Lawrence also threw for 221 yards, one touchdown pass as well. Unfortunately, he did have one interception in the game. The Jags will look to get their fourth straight win and their fifth win on the season as they welcome the Seattle Seahawks next week. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they fell back under 500, and now they are 2-3. Mahomes once again will look for answers within the team. He threw for over 300 yards on the Jags once again. Pretty much every time he's played them, he has done this. Kelsey also had a 36th birthday present with a touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes, but that honestly was not enough to get this job done. Mahomes will look to get back on track next week with these Chiefs team back in the spotlight once again as they will play Detroit on Sunday Night Football. Well, let's go ahead and get into that Thursday night football game. We have the 4-1 Eagles against the 1-4 Giants. The Eagles are favored in this matchup, minus 7.5 points. The over and under is currently at 40.5. After two second half meltdowns for the last 2 weeks, the Eagles finally suffered their first loss. They were able to manage that first meltdown against Tampa a couple weeks ago, but this week against against the Broncos, they just were not able to get it done. So they suffered their first loss of the season, and after that, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley, they had a closed door meeting. Um, Only one can imagine what happened and what type of offense we're going to get against the Giants, but also one has to think about Devontae Smith. I feel like he has been an adamant piece and a huge key piece to this offense, and him being left out of that meeting, for me, it just doesn't sit right. Um, and I'm kind of curious to see how he feels about that as well. Jalen Hurts in his career is 6-3 against the Giants. This will also be Saquon's second time playing against his old former team that drafted him. The last outing he had one great day with 176 rushing yards. So he may be able to do that again. Jackson Dart, he will get his first taste of a divisional rivalry in the NFL when he gets to take on the defending Super Bowl champions. Jackson Dart, he's gotten two starts thus far and has gone 1-1. He did lose Malik Neighbors in that first outing, and he is unfortunately out for the season. So that is a big, huge loss for the Giants and for Jackson Dart's first season as well. And it's also a very short week, so it's going to be interesting to see how Dart responds after taking that first loss and playing against Philly's defense. My best bets in this game, we're going to go back again, what I was saying earlier, was Saquon over that 86.5 rushing yards. I know he's been off to a rough start these last 3 weeks after pretty kind of starting the season not too bad, but I believe this is a good spot for him against his former team. I feel like he's gonna be locked in this game. We might not see another 176-yard game, but we could get over 100 yards in this game for sure. I could see that happening. Speaking of somebody that's been rushing very well recently, though, is Jackson Dart, the rookie quarterback for the Giants. He's started 2 games and he's gotten over 50 rushing yards in both of those games so far. So we've seen what he can do with his legs. And 35.5, I'm going to have to take that again. That's another one of my good bets. And Another best bet I have for this one is Theo Johnson over his 28.5 receiving yards. Jackson and Dart seem to have some type of connection. He didn't really go off last week, but he's definitely going to be looking for him. And I feel like they're going to have to pass that ball more than they're going to be running that ball. So that's definitely a good small chunk change bet to get going right there as well. Philly should definitely win this matchup. It's hard for me to see the Giants coming out and winning this matchup. I would love for the Giants to win this matchup. I would love for the Eagles to lose two straight games. There would be nothing better than to watch the Eagles lose this matchup. But um, unfortunately, I can't see, especially after a closed door meeting with the offense. I just feel like they're going to be clicking on all cylinders, and they may score 40 plus points. They honestly might hit the over all by themselves in this matchup. I do think the Giants should score some points, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. The Eagles might even cover that 7.5 point spread. But I'm locking in the Eagles money line and possibly the over as well. But definitely Eagles money line. And definitely Saquon over his rushing total. I also love Jackson Dart, like I said, to get over that rushing total, and Theo Johnson to get over that receiving total. So lock those bets in, and we'll see what happens. That, and then we are going to go ahead and get over into the sports news. We have a trade that went down the other day. Joe Flacco has been traded over to the Cincinnati Bengals for a fifth round pick. They also got a sixth round pick with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is also expected to start this Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. And if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, he was when he was still on the Browns, he did start against the Green Bay Packers. They came back and ultimately won that game 13-10. So Joe Flacco can do something no other quarterback in the NFL has ever done before, and that is beat the same team twice, but on two different teams in the same season. So if Joe Flacco goes in here and wins this game, he will be making more history. Um, and I would honestly, that would be great to see. I do not like Green Bay, so I will definitely be rooting for the Bengals this week. The Bengals need a win. I know the Packers are coming off a bye week, so hopefully this is going to be a good game, and I will definitely get into it some more later on this week. Um, Lamar Jackson, he continues to miss practice, and honestly, it seems like he's in jeopardy of missing another week. He missed last week's game, and Cooper Rush stepped in, and he did not step up at all. So we'll see what happens there, and if Cooper Rush will have to try and step up this week. Another quarterback that's in jeopardy of missing another week of action is quarterback Brock Purdy from the 49ers. He did not practice again, and Mac Jones could get another start. But 49ers fans, don't be worried. Mac Jones is undefeated. He and on top of that, he's got a better record this year than your boy Brock Purdy. So you guys might be rooting for Mac Jones to get the start over Brock Purdy anyways. So we'll see how that continues to go for him. And the NBA, man, the NBA preseason is finally here. We are less than 2 weeks away from the NBA tip-off. And I, for one, can't wait. We will definitely be getting more into the NBA action as the season starts approaching. And we will definitely be getting into some of those games as well. So be on the lookout for all of the NBA action. I may even add an extra day into dropping some content. So we'll see how that goes. John Cena's final opponent is rumored to be Gunther. There's also rumors out there that Edge has left AEW and could be making his way back to WWE to have his final match with John Cena. So we will definitely have to be locked in and figure that one out. But that match is set to take place in Washington, D.C. And a day after his contract expires, Santos Escobar decides to re up with the WWE. So all those AEW rumors can officially go out the window. So as all for my around the sports world, for all my NFL fans, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. If you are out for this WWE segment, but we are going to go ahead and get right into it. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my wrestling fans that came down here towards this the end of this broadcast just for this very bit, I appreciate you guys for coming on in and tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button down below as well. And let's go ahead and get right into the Monday Night Raw review. Raw kicked off with your boy Roman Reigns, the OTC. He tried to cut his promo, but of course, Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed, they would cut him off. They would go back and forth, and eventually, throughout all this, a match will be made for this Saturday at Crown Jewel with an Australian street fight. Roman Reigns, he talks his little shit and get Bronson Reed to come down to that ring for them to tussle. Bronson I'm sorry, Roman gets the better of Bronson at the end of the day, and Roman poses in the ring while Bronson is on the outside, and security is there as well. We get our first action of the night with Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree in an amazing matchup. If you guys have not seen Maxine Dupree in the ring before, this is definitely something that highlighted her career. This is huge for her. And she even ended up getting the win in this matchup. However, she did not get a pinfall victory, a submission victory over Becky Lynch. She got a countout victory, so it's not like a huge win over Becky, but it is a great stepping stone, and the audience definitely got to see more from her. So it's great for Maxine, and I can't wait to see what's next for her. The next matchup of the night was Lyra Valkyria with Bailey versus Roxanne Perez with Raquel Rodriguez. Roxanne would end up winning this matchup, and after the matchup, Bailey would get back into that ring after Roxanne and Raquel left, and she would tell Lyra, "Let's go ahead and go after them." Um, and they would go and attack them in the backstage area. CM Punk cuts a promo. LA Knight would come out and they would go back and forth. Jey Uso would also come out and cut a promo. And LA Knight tried to fire back, but he gets super kicked by Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso at the time was making his way down to the ring, finally got in. Punk would fire back at Jey Uso, and Jey would try and attack Punk, but Jimmy would stop him. Punk would go around Jimmy Uso and sucker punch Jey Uso and knock him down, and then Jimmy Uso would end up super kicking CM Punk. This would lead to a tag team main event match made for later on tonight. But before that, we got two other matches. First up, we had Io Sky and Kairi Sane. We do have a huge tag team matchup between Kairi Sane, Asuka, and versus the Io Sky and Rhea Ripley this Saturday. But this was a preview of that with Kairi Sane winning, with, of course, Asuka's help, as Rhea Ripley was not in the building. After this, right prior to the main event, we got AJ Styles, Dragon, Liam Penta versus the Judgment Day, Dom, Finn, and JD. The winners of this match, of course, were AJ, Penta, and Dragon Lee. Um, and then we finally get into the main event with the Usos versus LA Knight and CM Punk, with the winners of this matchup being CM Punk and LA Knight. So one can only imagine the friction that's being added towards Jay and Jimmy. It's going to be interesting to see where Jimmy goes eventually and what Jay does next. But we'll have to tune in. We will get hopefully something this weekend in the pay-per-view. But we'll see what happens. On SmackDown right now, all we got is a few things. We got three matches confirmed. Well, I'm sorry, four matches confirmed. We have a Sami Zayn Open Challenge match. That the official match isn't confirmed, but we are confirmed to get that Open Challenge. We also have a tag team matchup between the Wyatt Sixes and the Street Profits. I look for the Wyatt Six to win this matchup and try and continue to get into the heads of the Street Profits. Damian Priest versus Aleister Black in a last man standing match is also set. I'm not really sure who's going to come out victorious in this matchup. It's interesting to see where they go and what could come out of each of these superstars' next move in WWE. But we'll have to see what happens. And then we have a huge tag team matchup with Julian and Kiana James for Stephanie Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton, just a day before Tiffany and Stephanie have to lock horns in the ring. This stems from last week when Julia tried to recruit Stephanie and attacks Tiffany. So we'll see what happens on SmackDown this week, the one day before the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. And speaking of the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, we are going to go ahead and get right into that preview as well. We have great, huge matchups in this pay-per-view. We have the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus Asuka and Kairi Sane matchup that I was talking about. That matchup is definitely going to be a great matchup. I can see Kairi Sane turning on Asuka in this matchup and teaming up with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, leaving Asuka to be on her own. We also have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. That is definitely going to be one hell of a match. One has to suspect Braun Breaker is going to come out at some point. We didn't get to see him on Raw this week, but one has to suspect he will be at Crown Jewel and he will be helping Bronson Reed get that victory over Roman Reigns. We also have Stephanie Valkyria versus Tiffany Stratton in the Women's Crown Jewel match. I look for Stephanie Valkyria to win that matchup and Tiffany to take her first loss of the year. We also have Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in the men's crown jewel match. I look for Seth Rollins to win this matchup. I know a lot of people will probably take Cody Rhodes to win this matchup and think he's going to be the victor, but I look for Seth to actually win this matchup and finally get a victory over Cody Rhodes. And then we have John Cena versus AJ Styles in what is their last and final chapter. Um, as a fan of John Cena and a longtime WWE fan, I would love John Cena to win this matchup. Um, I I'm not sure if they will give the win to AJ Styles, seeing as he's getting ready to retire soon, anyways, as well. So, yeah, I look for John Cena to win this matchup, and hopefully he does. As we know, he is on the way out and only has a handful of matches left. So can't wait to see this pay per view. Pay per view is set 8 a.m. my time. I know other in the West Coast, it's going to be about 5 a.m. and everywhere else, got to look it up. But it's going to be early, and we are going to be up and active. So make sure you guys tap in, and I'll hit you guys with a review on that. I'll try and get that into the next episode with the football episode, with the Friday Night SmackDown review. So be on the lookout for all of that, and make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate everybody for stopping by, and I'll see y'all next time in the cabin.